Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CC Productions. We got our full college football weekend preview for you, and we have a stacked show. We got 4 segments for you. First up, we're going to be going over my banned team of the week. This is a team that absolutely broke my heart and is officially banned from CC Productions. We got my parlay, 3 of my best bets of the week. Parlay those together, make you some dough. We're going to be calling the one and only Pete Hill for Pete's pick of the week. Yes, I'm calling my dad to give me a team, and we're riding with him, and it's a lock for sure. And finally, we're going to be heading to the barber shop to fade up the public. So stick around to the end of this. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a packed show. Let's get right into it. All right, first up, banned team of the week. Not a place you want to be if you're a college football team. And guess what? App State, you're here. App State played Coastal Carolina last week, and they were minus 5.5 point favorites, and they came out to a packed crowd. The place was bumping. And what did their DBs decide to do in the first half? Turn into dumb, and dumber and blow 2 coverages to go down 14-0 before you could even blink. To be fair, they get some momentum. They come back late in the game, tie game with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They hit a bomb down the field. Wide receiver makes a guy miss. He's running downfield. Even if he gets hawked from behind, he's getting tackled in the red zone, like 20, 15, probably going to score that touchdown, give us a great chance to cover that spread. But what happens instead? A Coastal Carolina DB decides to turn into prime Mike Tyson, peanut punch the ball up from behind. Coastal Carolina picks the ball up, goes on like a 4-minute drive all the way down the field, kicks a field goal with no time left. Coastal Carolina wins the game outright. App State, you are officially banned from CC Productions until further notice. Please send this over to App State's athletic department as well. I want them to see this. Moving on, we got the parlay of the week. Just in case you don't know, my name's Charlie, so that's a play on words there, people. First up, we got Arkansas minus 6.5 at home against Mississippi State. Now, I completely understand. Arkansas is on a 5-game slid right now, but those 5 games came against Bama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, LSU, and BYU as an out-of-conference game. 5 very difficult games. Mississippi State, far inferior opponent compared to those games. So Arkansas is going to be ecstatic to get them at home for this one. And they're also going to be ecstatic to find out that Mississippi State has 122nd ranked pass defense in the nation. So KJ Jefferson going to be carving those boys up all game. Not to mention, for Mississippi State, their quarterback, Will Rogers, is on the injury report. And even if he does play, Arkansas has one of the best pass rushes in the country. They had 5 sacks last week on Alabama. So if he is playing, they're going to be firing up Will Rogers. He's going to be feeling it all game. I think they're going to shut down Mississippi State, be cooking on offense, and cover 6.5 at home. Moving on, we're headed down to the big old state of Texas. We got an in-state game between the Texas Longhorns and Houston Cougars. In this one, I'm going to be taking over 61. Now, I think Texas might go off for 100 points in this game after losing the Red River rivalry the way they did last week. Not to mention, Houston on the season giving up 31 points per game to teams that don't have nearly as good of an offense as Texas. I think they're going to light them up all game. So Texas is definitely going to get rolling. And on the flip side of things, if you really take a look into it, I don't think Texas's defense is as good as advertised. They had their first real challenge last week when they played Oklahoma, and they gave up 34 points. They played Kansas earlier in the year, and you might say, oh, they only gave up 14 points. That's pretty good. Jalen Daniels, who's pretty much all of Kansas's offense, wasn't playing in that one. Heck, they gave up 24 points to Bama early in the year, who looked like they couldn't move the ball for the life of them. Now, I completely understand. Houston, not as good as any of those teams. But that being said, Houston still does have a good offense. I don't think Texas is as great as it seems like from the outside. I think Houston is going to be able to put up some points here and get this one over 61 easily. Lastly, give me Clemson -3 over Miami. I don't think there's a team in the nation who has worse vibes in the locker room than Miami right now. After they absolutely gave away a football game at the end to Georgia Tech in the way they did, they try to bounce back, go to North Carolina and beat the Tar Heels. But what happens instead? They lose by double digits. Vibes have got to be catastrophic for Miami right now. So Clemson's going to come in there, beat up on those guys, and it doesn't even matter that they're on the road because Miami might have the worst home atmosphere in the country. They play at Hard Rock Stadium. They can never get students out there. They can never get fans in there. So it doesn't even matter that they're on the road. So Clemson, -3. They're a far superior team to begin with. They're going to whoop up on a down Miami team right now. So take Miami while they're down and Clemson while they're up. Clemson, -3. Now we're going to be calling Pops for Pete's pick of the week. Let's give him a call. All right, that's Pete's pick of the week. We got Florida State -14.5 at home against Duke. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't love the 14.5. But you know what? Pete knows something. He knows Florida State's in Tallahassee. He knows Duke doesn't have their starting quarterback, Riley Leonard. And he's got the knowledge to know Florida State's covering this thing. No doubt about it. So we're riding Florida State -14.5. Absolute mortal lock from Pete. Lastly, let's head over to the barbershop. Now, usually what we do here is, like I said, we fade the public. We see what the public's betting on, and we fade them up. We go against the grain. We don't take what everyone's betting. This week, it's a little different. You might be like, what do you mean? What do you mean a little different? You're not fading the public? No, we're not fading the public. Then what's the point of the barbershop? Who we're fading this week is, we're still fading this week, but it's different. This time, we're fading the books. We're fading the Big Ten Conference. Like you're saying, how you doing that? I want you to go onto whatever sports book you use, scroll down to a game, Minnesota, Iowa, take a look at that over-under. It says 30.5. Now you might be saying, that's got to be first half, right? No, that's the entire game, 30.5. That's hideous, atrocious, downright mortifying to see. 30.5 is gross. Never thought I'd see that. You look at a Big 12, Pac-12 game, you'll have 30.5 as a first half over-under. So, yeah, guess what? I'm a sicko. I'm an absolute gross, nasty sicko. And I'm going to be taking that over 30.5. Why? Because I love it. The book doesn't think they can score. The Big Ten Conference is saying we're a defense. Games finished 14-7. That's how we do it. No. Do I understand I need a defensive or a special teams touchdown for this bet to hit? Yes. Do I understand that both kickers will miss a field goal that's going to piss me off when it's from super close and should easily go in? Yes. Do I understand that at halftime it's probably going to be 7-3 and I'm going to have watched 12 punts in the first half and I'm going to want to gouge my eyes out instead of watching the second half? Yes. Do I care? No. We're taking the over 30.5 because when this hits, it will be the sweetest feeling in the world, seeing that go to 31 and hitting that bet on a Big Ten disgusting, nasty over. So don't come to me next week when this thing hits saying, oh, I should have taken that bet with you. It was so free, 30.5. Guess what? Lock it in now or don't cry to me later. That's the barbershop fade of the week. Fade them up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a stacked show. A lot of fun. Leave a comment down below of a pick you got. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of these updates or any of my game previews. And like the video if you enjoyed as well. But until then, I will see you next time.